just realized before I even hit record, I missed your question that you sent on the 15th, and I do apologize for that, Obadiah. But the one question that really got to me today was this one. And yeah, y'all can see the DMs, it don't really matter. This is my no account, so. All right, hey Divine, because this one right here was very powerful. So I feel like somebody's really going through a situation right now. Hey Divine, this may be a long message, so bear with me. I want to start by practicing being considerate. Let me make sure this is aligned. Okay. I want to start by, hold on, I'm trying to make sure this is in the middle. Fuck it. By practicing being considerate to you. So first, thank you for your videos, genuinely. There's a lot of content on social media, and there are infinite ways to use spaces and platforms like this to self-inflate or exalt. Yet you get up at whatever time of the day, and some of y'all don't know, it is 11:39 p.m. We don't sleep. We do this shit every day. And make the videos you do, excuse me. Even though, from my understanding, no one asked you. No one promised you fame, money, luxury, or comfort for the work you put in. So I want to genuinely say thank you. I'm thankful for you in the videos. I could call you my own reflection, but that wouldn't be fair to what you have been for me, no homo. You've inspired me deeply. And you don't have to use this context and, you know, what you're basically being vulnerable in. You're basically being honest with what my work has done. So I'm not gonna sit here and, nah, you're good. You don't got to do all that. I mean, we'll break this down furthermore. Let's keep on going. Now, for my questions/contradictions, as I watch your content, my whole life has been feeling like an unraveling and unveiling. Even up until the point I started first seeing your TED Talks and your movie breakdowns, all I knew was that the art, symbolism, themes, and messages I discovered, not only on YouTube but through media like television and anime, reflected deep aspects of my lived experience. I try to be strong-willed or strong-spirited/minded, but I never could quite put a finger on who the opposition or opposing force was. Like, I can just say it's all me or within or energy, yet the eternal conflict still rings true, which has always left me confused. Excuse me. With that being said, I started watching your videos when you started to get into the contradictions in the secret societies or societies with secrets, you know, and inspire deeper observation and questioning. It is becoming almost undeniable to me that I was definitely trafficked/abused by family, and by my own choices, I became homeless. At first, I thought it was bad, but now looking back, I feel like it was something preserving me and an invitation to discover truth. And then I found your content, but now I'm conflicted. Maybe the answer is obvious, but it doesn't feel obvious to me. I don't know if it's self-deception or some invisible intelligence, both. But all I know is that somehow in my extended homelessness, I've been protected, yet I never had a gun. I had food to eat, yet I went weeks on end with no money and no idea or way to put food in my belly. I've been shielding by the rain, and I don't even have a roof to sleep under. I've kept my humanity and empathy intact, yet I can't say confidently I've had real friends with me. I won't lie, I have stolen before to eat, but in comparison to what I took and what has been freely given, it doesn't make sense to me why or how I'm still here. My question is, what do I do? I see how a lot of systems and the people that make them up are just Luciferian/Satanists and worship their ego, sacrificing others because of some false enlightenment. But I'm like, it feels like I can just sit here, watch your videos, do some reflection and inquiry, some meditation and dream work, and just work on myself, and I'll be fulfilled. And I really appreciate you. Thank you for that. I really didn't think that my videos did that to some people. I ain't gonna lie, I just be recording my thoughts. No cap. I just record the piece that I'm in. As a child, I idolized celebrities. I used to do that too. You're not alone. I idolized celebrities and fame and tried to be like them because I thought it was my purpose. I had mistaken love for worship, but now I see that as a lie. But now I'm left kind of directionless. Good. Now we're getting somewhere. And somebody's like, that's not good. No, this is great because this person, Obadiah, not a person, This being Obadiah is figuring out the awakening on the journey towards ascension. You basically are at rock bottom. You're becoming the rose that grew within the concrete. I don't feel like I need to work to survive or be happy, but I don't know if that is a lie I'm comfortable in, correct, and false, or a truth that I'm willing or not willing to accept, truth and false. Is it my job to develop funds, resources, power, and knowledge relentlessly and join the resistance on some Star Wars shit? Or am I just having a hard time accepting the fact that I wasn't born to be God of this world, or a celebrity, or rich and famous, and that my only job is to align with the present? A part of me wants to join you on some Will of Fire shit, but I don't want that to just be another ego trip or fantasy. I want it to be something real, something meaningful outside of the trauma I endured, but I don't know how, excuse me, I just ate, my bad. But I don't know how or what that looks like, at least within me or through me. I know maybe kind of a personal question, and if it's my job to find an answer myself, that's okay too. If you can't really answer or make a video or it doesn't make sense, always remember, the things that don't make sense always make sense to me. I just choose to make them nonsense. That's okay too. But it feels like to me, you by far are the best person to ask, not gonna lie. Honestly, probably the only one. Anyways, thanks Devon. Have a blissful day. I do need to answer that first question that you had. And before anybody says, what are you about to put into this, gallon of water that I poured into this State Farm bottle? All I'm doing is just putting lion's mane into my water. So relax. Don't think that this is, some weird shit some people be fantasizing about. We don't do that. A lot of people need to be taking lion's mane because some people literally don't have an active brain that's working. And I don't mind showing you the transparency of how I get my mind to move when I'm tired. So instead of coffee, instead of drinking, instead of smoking, I'd rather do things that can help my mind do the things that I don't want to do. And that's my ego talking. So I gotta work harder by thinking better, thinking clearer. So anyway, celestial rising, divine afternoon, and successful night to all Mirages watching this mindful message. It's your divine observation, divine reflection, your divine reflection with your thoughts that help you guide yourself to a better future. And we are back with another message and understand. If you choose to and you enjoy these videos, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more divine messages. And first and foremost, I really do appreciate all the people who come to me for just questions in general, because many of you don't have to do that. And even though I'm dead tired right now, even though I'm exhausted, haven't took a nap for like some minutes, went to go see my cousin before she left and all that. But, I really enjoy doing these things because I always knew, I act like I don't, but I always knew that there was at least one person who they're really inspired by just the videos. And I don't really think my videos are anything to be inspired by, but people say otherwise. That's exactly why you can't see the way people are inspired by your works. That's why when you work so hard and you don't want anything in return, people respect you more, because look at what you're doing. You're doing it for no reason. There's a reason behind why you work so hard. What's that reason? They'll find that out. And then when you reap what you sow and you get gifted all the things from other people, it's because they love to see you in what they want you to be in. People want to see you in that big house. People want to see you in those nice cars. And I'm gonna lie, the video just started, so it's gonna be all over the place. I don't know what thoughts I'm gonna say whenever I do consume this water and all that, but just know along the process, it's all to help you understand that the dream that you're experiencing right now is the key to get you to remember why you're being put through this test. And you're not alone in this test right now. That's exactly why if you think as if you're failing, all you're doing is going through an awakening that makes you think you're failing, but the whole entire time, you have to fail in order to ascend. If you were born to just have life handed to you and everything was just peaches and cream, what would be the point of living? There would be no point. So because there would be no point in that, we had to go through the most traumatic things because something great is about to happen to you. Can you feel the shift? You gotta take care of both as well. You gotta be able to take care of your spirit and your body as well, because these things are both sacred. So never neglect your body. Do get some food and drink a lot of water, get a lot of rest. And Wear comfortable clothing if you choose to be homeless. But we'll get into all that in this video. So let me go ahead and, all right. I'm about to go to your question. I'm on the question right now. I'm trying to make sure that, like I can say, it's just all me within, I'm trying to figure out the base, like that first question. But now I'm conflicted. Maybe the answer is obvious, but it still doesn't feel obvious to me. Okay, at first I thought it was bad, but now looking back, I feel like it was something persevering me and an invitation to discover truth. Then I found your content. Now you're conflicted, and maybe the answer is obvious, which it is, but it doesn't feel obvious to me. And if it doesn't feel obvious to you, remember, you're not where you think you are because you're already there. You're not where you think you are because you're already there. The only difference is you're not able to see it at the moment because your mind has to follow the script. So I don't know your gematria script, but if you do your own gematria, you'll be able to see that all things that you're going through, your spirit told you that you're going to go through that. And even if you had dreams about this, it's a reason for why you put yourself there. Because with all the videos that we talked about when it comes to secret societies and Luciferianism and satanic child trafficking or ritual abuse, these are the reasons why many people don't want to have close ties with their families. Because think about what they're doing to us, and they don't see what they're doing to us because they can't see what's been done to them. That's why we got to break the spell. These are the most important videos because somebody out there is going through something way worse. So what are you complaining about? That's why no matter what you do, no matter how you feel, no matter how tired you are, you have to go and put in that work for what you want in this world. All you can give to this simulation is your energy, your time, your skills, your talents, and your mindset or your thoughts that are programmed or attached to the mind. So what do you set this vision that you have intentions in? It can be good or bad, but there are no good and bad intentions. But I know one thing though, always move in love because love is the key to leaving this dimension. Why do you think God would play hide and seek in your heart? Okay. So yes, that's why you're saying it doesn't feel obvious to you because you're oblivious to the obvious. It's literally hidden in plain sight. But remember, you had to be able to smoke and mirrors for the entered apprentice for Freemasons or Freemasonry. You have to be able to, when I went to my spiritual awakening, the number one song I sang in my head, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Literally, I will never forget that day because when I sang that song to myself, everything I blocked in my mind, all the judgment, all the insecurities, the comparisons, the thievery, gossip, the lying, the shame, all these different things, the guilt, the trauma, all these things that happened, when I understood why it happened, it all made sense because my clouded judgment bypassed this inner illumination that these secret societies need to have to gain more power. You didn't give your power to your family, so your guidance told you go a different route. And the thing is, you're a different breed for that, not in a good or bad way, but I see where you're going with this. I see why you're doing it. That's why I'm not opposed, nor will I ever tell you to go the generic route. I don't want to give you the same exact message or advice that other people will give you. No, we're going to do things different over here because you say you don't know if it's self-deception or some invisible intelligence. It's both because you are the invisible force deceiving yourself in self-deception. Remember, everything that you see in your life has been by your own deceiving ways. You deceived your ways by being born in this way of life. Whole entire time, what way is life flowing? We got all these directions, but which one is true? Which one is false? Not only just that, if life has a destination and it's supposed to begin or end, who wins the race for the truth and the lie? When the truth and lies in the same exact race, they're neck and neck. Only difference is the lie will cheat to get ahead, and yet and still the truth is catching up. or wait a minute, the truth already finished the race, and the lie is what got overlapped because the lie knew that the truth was already ahead of itself, and the truth wanted to run back or just run another lap just because it wanted to see what it could be when it didn't notice what it needs to start rushing in. When you stop rushing with where you want to be in life, you stop deceiving yourself. That's why in self-deception, I don't want to say trust. You have, to me, I'll use this word, faith. You have to basically have faith in this invisible force, this invisible intelligence, because that being right there is the reason why you're still functioning today. That's why I be telling people there is no God, but there is a being. There is a higher entity, a higher intelligence, a cosmic being that's infinitely aware at all times, no matter what we think, all around us. We can't even touch it. It's there. Well, I'm touching it now, but it's there in all different forms. If that's the case, you lied to yourself. Because when you leave this realm, you can't touch the force of your nature. Because if you did, that wouldn't be true. Your truth couldn't even be seen in light. So who put light in the void of your nature or your truth? You maneuvered. You already know what I'm gonna do. Other words for orchestrated. You arranged a way of life that you seen yourself already existing in. Keyword, existing. You already existed in this life. That's why you're doing it again. Because there's something that you did in your past life that got you to where you are today. Remember, these occultists, they do the things that they do because there's something that we did in our life that told us we had to go through this to understand what we are as far as the tool for duality. Because duality should be seen as a tool to help us learn a lesson in the illusion of ascension. It should not be seen as a flaw in creation, because the moment you see duality as a flaw, you lost yourself and you only have a one-track mind. You can only see things from one perspective. But when you see it from a two-dimensional perspective, you're able to go in different lanes that can connect to the way that you can see yourself. But all I know is that somehow in my extended homelessness, I've been protected, yet I never had a gun. I have food to eat, yet I went weeks on end with no money and no idea or way to put food in my belly. I've been shielding by the rain, and I don't even have a roof to sleep under. I kept my humanity and empathy intact. That's why you're protected. Do all of that. And the thing is too, secret societies, they would thrive. They're hungry for your position. Because if you see why there's many homeless people, those people are basically the sacrifices for higher orders as well. When I went to San Francisco before, even in Los Angeles, the homeless problem is so bad, you can go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and as you're walking to the restaurant, you can see a whole line of tents. And sometimes it's like a damn mini metropolis of homeless people. And they're walking around, minding their own business. They got their own simulation going on and another simulation that's going on. So people are driving by. You got all these nice luxurious cars and people in suits and ties, people with dresses on. Everybody, all that rich laughter and shit. But it's like, look at the major problem in front of your face. They don't give a fuck about that. When I noticed that, I said, damn, we have a major problem. That's when I realized too, they needed people to become homeless, and they caused them to be homeless, because when you recruit a homeless person into that industry, to build them up, make them famous, you can do whatever you want to them because they have nothing. They have nothing besides what you provide for them or what somebody else provides for them. So they're begging for something or they're pleading for something because they're at their lowest. That's why these higher orders know that. They get you when you least expect it. Not only just that, they get you when you're at your lowest, at the bottom of the bottom, to where they see something inside of you that you don't see just yet. That's the scary part. They see something in you that you don't see, and it's crazy how you don't see what you should have been seeing the whole entire time. So how can they see it when they never met you before? But wait a minute. What did I just say? How can they see something in you when they never met you before? But see, now I'm lying because you met yourself before. So how do you think they know you? So who really put you in that position if it wasn't them or if it wasn't you? Because what if them or they are you? Watching you go through a trial that you thought you made an error in. But realistically, welcome to the Truman Show. Who do you think is watching you? That's why you're protected. You kept your humanity and empathy intact. That's exactly why you don't have real friends around you. If you did, there's somebody who'll be close to you. If there's somebody who's close to you, they'll do anything that they can to help you, to make sure that you know where you're going, to make sure no matter what you do, you're in a great environment that can help you flourish and your family as well, to where you don't got to worry about this stuff again. So you say you stolen before to eat. I'm going to keep it stacked with you. I'll be transparent as well, because that's the reason why many of you do watch my videos, because I don't mind sharing my experience. I mean, I went through so many different things before I became who I am today. That's exactly why experience is the best teacher. I've stolen before as well, just to eat. And what's crazy, I was spoiled my whole life. You're never going to get enough. And it had to take me a while to stop stealing, to the point to where I ended up getting caught in Walmart by the people who worked there, and they were undercover. I had to do community service for that, and that was the worst experience of my life. Doing community service, by the way, because I didn't want to get up and go to a park and pick up trash or cut branches because I stole something from Walmart. And what's crazy, I only stole for attention. That's the reason why motherfuckers be stealing this shit. Even the people I used to hang out with, I was only stealing because these niggas were stealing. And what's crazy, I knew that these were some bum ass niggas because I didn't have to steal. I had any type of clothing I wanted, any type of shoe I wanted. What was I doing? Fitting in with losers. So people would tell me, Darius, why are you hanging out with those losers right there? I don't know, I feel bad for them, but they're some cool people for real. Y'all don't really know them. But the whole entire time, people are telling me the type of company I'm keeping. They were against me the whole entire time, so I relate with you. You're never going to have a real nigga or real friends around you, because if they were your real friends, they would tell you about how you got in that situation and how you can get out of it by putting themselves into it as well. But people are afraid to do that because of judgment. Excuse me. But in comparison to what I took and what has been freely given, it doesn't make sense to me why or how I'm still here. You're still here because you're not done. Your story's not done. You have way more to read. You can't just close the book and just say, we're going to move on to a different book. No. You had to finish this book that you decided to pick up. When you were born, you told your higher self, well, your higher self basically reminded itself, I'm opening up the book of buy ball, buy sacrifice. That's all the book of the Bible is, buy sacrifices. I mean, if we're being transparent, right? I mean, I don't know why motherfuckers will sit here and act as if I'm just saying some outlandish shit. No, buy bullshit, buy bull, buy ball worship. Okay, if your family named you a name, gave you all of this, and they sacrificed you to this world, who do you think is watching you and guiding you along the way? If it's not your family, if it's not God, if it's not the secret societies, what would you call it? That's why you know what you're doing. Your higher self understands where you're going in this life because you've been there before. So you're literally watching what you're dreaming about right now, currently. Everything that you're going through is what you'll smile about later on. Because why? You were only there to remember how to live in humility. You can have it all, and it could be going just like that. That's why you have to always be grateful no matter the situation, because it's a test to see if you will lose your morals in the process. Because those beings, they're waiting, they're salivating for you to say, hey, look, I need a job, okay? I need some quick money. I'll do anything to get this bread. And they'll say to themselves, we got him. We got him. Now what do? You have all that you wanted. You're now satisfied. You're settled in with your new house. you're able to pay rent, you're known, you got, cleaned up, your hygiene's up to par, you're doing good, you're back on your feet, and you're well off. Behind closed doors, though, you still owe them something. They gave you what you wanted. Don't forget that. They see you at your lowest and you came to them. They may have accepted you, but you forgot what you signed up for because you were just that down bad. Not you, but just the situation right now, maybe just that down bad that somebody out there will say, I will do anything to just have a home-cooked meal that's warm. There are some people who will, what do I do? Okay, now I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm an advisor to help you with this. I'm not a therapist. I am going to school for psychology and all that, but I'm not going to sit here and say that my help will be helpful, but I'm going to do my best to guide you along the way because there's somebody out there that you may have asked and they may not have even acknowledged what you're going through. So I'm thankful to even see what I can do. I'm going to at least attempt it. Even if I miss a shot, I'm going to still shoot it because I want to see you win. I want to see another comment from you that says, hey, Darius, update. I did it, man. I'm in this situation. I have a family, got a dog or a cat, and here's what they look like. Nigga, that shit make me shed a fucking tear, boy. And I'll make a video on that shit too. We're just that close. If you think about it, I'm basically your virtual guidance, but yeah, think about it though. I'm still human just like you. Yeah, I have antics. Yeah, I'm a dickhead. Yeah, I can be mean and all of that, but I still love. I just hate to love. That's how big my heart is. I want people to know that life is way more than what you think and what you were taught. That's the whole entire gist of my videos. Everything that you knew, you had to unlearn. And everything that I learned and that I teach myself, I cannot lean on. That's why I never know what I'm talking about. And I lie by saying that. All right, so I had notes because I was just in the booth just typing when you were saying that. I really felt some way when you told me this. I basically said, first of all, never let shame or pressure confuse you. You were never broken just because you're being homeless. And you're not lazy just because you have questions. Remember, you are being put through these things because most people can never survive this stuff. A lot of people who are in your situation, they have killed themselves. Fentanyl overdose, popping perks, Zans, alcohol poisoning, smoking cigarettes, getting hit by cars, jumping off of bridges, sacrificing their morals. There's many different things that people don't get to make, but you're still here making something of yourself. And the fact that you're still here, being empathetic, asking yourself questions, learning consciousness, that shows that everything that you're holding on to is becoming greater because look at the proof in the pudding. Look at what you're going through. And yeah, you cannot see it right now, but later on down the line, months from now, you'll see. And that's the thing that hurts. Society is impatient because you want this. I'm probably assuming, but you can't sit there and say that you don't want your scenario to change immediately because who wouldn't? I wouldn't want to be homeless forever or for months or weeks at all. But after this video, you still can't run from your problems. You still got to face your demons. That's what hurts. When I cut this camera off, I can't run from my thoughts. I can't run from what's going on in my life. That's why when I make these videos, it feels as if I'm in peace because that's where I can find myself. But when I cut this camera off, I gotta find myself again. That's why all the things that I do behind camera, I do on camera because nothing changes when you stay real to yourself, no matter who is viewing you or watching you. When you're awakening, your body has to be in safety. You need a lot of rest and food as well. So I would say, for one, focus on stability first. Not only just that, focus on before we get into the material or the Masonic tricks of the physical, know your bond. No. Know your why, your reasoning, and know your bond with the Almighty. That's for starters. My life didn't change. My life didn't change to where I got my own apartment, always had my own car and phone and all that, but just my own apartment. That was my major goal. I accomplished that. So now what? My MacBook, all these things that I have. These things happened because when I started my awakening, I told myself in my room in my old house, I told myself, I want to know who God is. I don't care what it takes. I don't care how bad or how good it may be. I didn't even think God would. I honestly never thought God would be fucking Satan. I'm going to keep it a stack with you. And I know somebody's like, nigga, you never thought that? I promise you, before I mentioned that, I never heard nobody tell me that shit. Ever. So when I first said that, I remember I'm talking too fast. My first TikTok account, I remember that video went viral, and that was when I had a shorter haircut, and I was in my Nissan at the park, and I was still, I was going through it at that time. But I wasn't homeless or anything like that. But that was when I started knowing that, people don't know this. So I kept questioning every day when I told myself, who is God? When I formed that bond, when I asked the why, I was asking questions. When I asked questions, that first question, I asked myself, who is God? Not only just that, I went back to my past when I was 5 years old. I'm gonna always tell this story. 5 years old in my room, playing with toys. I sat down and asked myself, who is God? What is a heaven? But then my purpose was, I want to get people to heaven. I don't know why I said that. Now it makes sense. It all makes sense. You have to make sense with what God never made sense of. That's perfectionism. That's why when you mention the willpower, whatever you mentioned with that. Let me make sure I got that right. Because my thoughts are all over the place. I'm trying to make sure this is very accurate for you. You said, because where did you say it? I think it was later on down. You said the family. I may be skipping it. I really don't want to skip that because that was a very important part. Yeah, I'll probably skim over it later on, but there we go. The Will of Fire. So it's like, even with the Will of Fire, having that bond is what will fire you up every single day, because you gotta remember, you can't do the things that you do off of just willpower alone. There's a higher force that's guiding you. That's why when I lie in my truth, I can't blame it on anything else. It's all me, but I'm lying. That's how powerful the Almighty is. I will never give myself the credit because I'm doing it for one being. That's why this being will never be called God in my story. But I know one thing though. When I meet my judgment, I know where I'm going, because every day I did it all for my future that has no image, it has no visual. That's why the bond I had from that first question years ago, I want to say, years ago, when I first had that bond with the Almighty, that's when I knew things would change. Every day I was just learning about what God was. Once I understood what that was, from the firmament, Satanism, the Boule, interterrestrial deities, the ice wall, the cabal, the Vatican, human trafficking, underground societies, underground tunnels, biblical stories, Lumerians, inner earth, parallel universes, space, like space travel, quantum dimensions, planes of dimensions, angels, demons. The levels of dimensions go on and on. So when I just started studying that stuff, that's when I knew it will get me to where I am. Because it goes to show that the information that we have is infinite. When you know you're in your infinite manner, your infinite being, you can now be whatever you want through love. Because when you love yourself, no matter what you go through, you know that all you're doing is just reading about what never was, but what it could be. Because what could it be right now? And that's what you're experiencing at the moment. That's all you're really looking at. You're looking into the moment of what you're screening. Remember, life is a TV screen. So when you're looking into the screen, realistically, you don't see anything but false light. I wonder why they made the Illuminati up. Because where are they? The next part, find stability. And it's not just forever. It's not going to be a forever thing. But you're finding stability so that you don't spiral out of place. Because you can find a local shelter, stay with someone that's safe, that you think is safe with you, or even getting a simple job. And the thing is too, you have to make sure no matter what you do, remain in that stable environment. So if you have a trusted friend, classmate, just somebody that you know close to you, go to them. And you're able to find a local shelter. Because I mean, you're texting from a phone or a device. I'm sure that your device is open to helping you with local shelters. Don't feel embarrassed until walking in there and saying your situation. And the thing is too, you may be like, well, you may backfire with something else that you may have did. If I was in your shoes, I would not feel ashamed going into a local shelter. I wouldn't be ashamed going into a McDonald's, for example, or an IHOP or a Wendy's or even a gas station. I wouldn't mind going in any establishment because I need to get out of this situation that I'm in, because there's more. I don't want to be outside when it's raining. I don't want to be outside when it's cold. I don't want to be outside begging for food or on the street saying, hey, I need money for food. I don't want to do that. That's just not me. Then the thing is as well, don't think of it as selling your morals or going against yourself or your spirit, because remember, you already sold your soul by even having a body. So nobody can sit here and say having a job is selling your soul. Not just to you, Obadiah, but to the hypothetical person that may watch this video. You sold your soul before you were fucking born. And the thing is too, you can't even sell that. Remember, you're giving your spirit a safe place to continue growing, because you need a different environment. You have to keep changing. That's why the most uncomfortable situations in life are the reasons why you'll grow up into a person that you can appreciate. The most uncomfortable situations that we place ourselves to in life is the reason why we can appreciate the new version that we already knew we were becoming. And when we have a spiritual awakening, it's going to hit you way harder, because as you're alone or as you're hungry, as you're in your emotions, the awakening lets you know that you can't depend on nobody in the physical anymore. I had to go through that. Then those were some dark times. It's dark when you know you're going through something and people are mad or upset about you, or they feel some kind of way about you, and nobody ever can ask you, are you okay? How are you feeling? Talk to me. You need a hug? Nobody ever does that to the awakened ones. So what do we got to go do? Be creative in our thoughts. And then when you start making your thoughts become financially free, all of a sudden people start caring. You didn't care when I was going 0 for 80 from the field, but now that I'm going 28 for 31, now you're on my fucking nuts? Wow. Wow. That's why the awakening will always hit you like a freight train. Because when you feel it, now you feel what you detach from. That's why I tell people love does not exist to me. It's a feeling that you have to work on every single day. It's distortion. Love is a distorted feeling that people think they love in. How can you fall in love? How? Why can't I just magnetize myself into loving what I already am? If you know that you are love, you're the definition of what love is, what it thinks it is, you love yourself by hating what you think you are. That's why you got to build yourself a small space to where now your solar observation can stretch. It can stretch a different structure to where you don't have to sit there and panic or put yourself in a negative environment to where you'll lose yourself. No, you don't got to do that anymore, because you're able to be in the predicament that can help you get to what you're focusing on. The next one, look for a situation like a job or work or whatever the case. I know somebody will say, bro, not all of us have opportunities to work. That's the thing. You don't have to go to a 9 to 5 job, but if you want to maintain that phone bill, for example, or if you want to have money accumulating and coming in continuously, you got to do something. You have to. If you want to have nice clothing, if you want to be comfortable in your own space where you can watch TV whenever you want, you don't got to hear nobody's mouth, you have to put in the fucking work. I'm just saying, people cannot use homelessness as an excuse to be fucking broke. And comfortability. Not saying to you, Obadiah, but to somebody else. If you want to be comfortable being broke, you'll never make it in life freely. Look for sources of income that don't drain your solar observation. Meaning that, for one, if I was in a homeless situation, I'm not going to lie, if I have a charger, if I have a place to record, I'm recording my experience. I'm just being truthful. Basically, I treat my life as if I am homeless. Only difference is I'm spoiled while thinking I'm homeless. So I'm faking it till I make it, just being transparent with you. So you see me in tank tops, you see me in hoodies, probably the same jackets or sweatpants. I don't care, because why? When you don't look like you have money, do you really have money? Nobody knows if you don't say. So if you don't say how much money you have, how much money do you really have when your currency without the number exchanged? And what I mean is too, you can even look for a part-time situation. You can go to, I ain't even gonna say a church, you can go to your local gyms, you can go to a bookstore, you can go to a skating rink, you can go to a movie theater or art gallery, you can go to a high school, you can do events, concerts, you can do a warehouse, nonprofit, you can do a night shift, day shift, you can do Hobby Lobby, you can do Walmart. It's a lot of options in the world. You can do working on cars. So, or even the airport. But, excuse me. I'm saying these different things though, because you want to find the things that are so quiet to where you can breathe on your own. Because you may feel as if you're suffocating right now because, excuse me, all these things are closing in on you and you're expecting to find a clearance to make sure that these things don't suffocate you into being exhausted to where you perish. No, you don't need to have a career at this moment or ever. All you really need is space to build your career. And the thing is too, you're already so successful in your career, you can talk about how much you lost in the past to where people are inspired by what you gained, because look at how much work you put in from what you gained. They want to be just like you. Your story is a testimony for somebody who's going through it right now, but they don't know who you are. Remember that. You are a walking example of what not to be, but how to be better than what you were being in that moment. When people are seeing what example you set, they can tell themselves and talk about you when you're gone. It's not about what you say to people. It's about how you make them feel with what you said to yourself and to them. Do things that keep your body moving and your mind clear while your spirit is aligning. Once you can do that, once you find that space, once you find that clarity, you have a clear one-track mind. Not one track, realistically, because that one-track mind can be connected to two perspectives. So let me go ahead and rephrase my statement. That one-track mind can guide you into two perspectives, because remember, your path is your path. You don't want to go on this path. You don't want to go on this path. You don't want to go on this path because ain't shit back there. All you got to do is focus on this path right here. And this path is not painted. It has no instructions. It has no roadmap. All you got to do is face forward, focus on your own lane, focus on your own paper, and learn about what's in front of you. And when you do that, your spirit will help you align to the points where now the shift in the simulation will, I don't want to use amplify anymore. Let's do a different word for today. Other words for amplify. Boost. Your life will now boost you into a situation that helps you understand the law of attraction. Okay. You and I, no being in this dimension was ever meant to live trapped in a 9-to-5 job or the workplace or the career. Ever. We use these things as a stepping stool to help us find clarity for what we enjoy doing with our life. So the job that I'm at right now, Monday through Friday, I don't mind telling you all that, part-time as well, but what am I using it for? A stepping stool to where it can help fund what I'm doing now. That's why I have no excuses. All I have is time. And if the simulation gave me a second chance and going back to school and getting my degree, which doesn't fucking matter, but getting my degree and I can still make videos while I still have my own apartment and taking care of myself, this and that, I'm not going to waste my time sitting in my room playing 2K26 or Skate or GTA or Madden or whatever the hell, or touching myself or reading books. I don't even do those things like touching myself and shit. That's beneath me. But just saying hypothetically though, I wouldn't do those things because it does nothing for me. Sitting there sleeping all day, smoking, drinking, partying, having sex, what the hell does that shit do for me at this stage in my life? Nothing. Those things we've been there and done that. Now it's time to really get shit going. I got a family to fucking feed and I have no kids. But that's how hard we have to work. So if that's the case, I am willing to give up one thing, and that's my sleep. Because why? When I get to where I am in life, I will get back to the, I ain't even gonna say it. Don't speak about what you're gonna do, you just do it. I ain't even gonna finish it because you'll see. They'll see. I don't even gotta speak about it. The ones that watch my videos who know why I put passion in my videos, even if I'm tired, do it when you're tired. And there are times where I want to go. There are times where I edit a video, I'll be sleeping. There are times where my video is loading, I'm sleeping. And there are times where I get 1 or 2 hours of sleep. I edit or I upload that video. The moment you see that video, I'm probably in class on 2 or 1 hour of sleep. And I'm still going to work on 1 hour of taking a nap. So that's what, 3 hours of sleep, maybe? Dealing with all 24, 25 some kids that aren't mine? And making YouTube videos and TikToks, then there are 5 to 8 or 10 videos a day. We're not meant to be doing this shit. But I'd rather do it now than when I'm older. I refuse to be 30, 40, 50, 60 doing this shit. I'd rather do it right now because when I get an older age and I want to be able to make a video, damn, let's say I do it once a week. People still come back and say, I'm so glad to see you still posting, bro. It's just like when you were back at your other spot or when you were back at your spot in college. I done watched the whole journey and you helped me become a millionaire, Darius. You don't know what you've done for me. Thank you. And I'm making a video saying, Celestial Rising, divine afternoon, a successful night. And as you probably see, I'm in a whole different scenery right now. My life has changed. I got waves in the background, seagulls doing their language and shit. You know, people laughing in the background. That to me is life. So where I'm telling y'all all that's happened because I want you to do better. So where I can watch your videos and say, I love it. I love it. I know you smiling watching this video because that's how we should be feeling every day. Remember, enjoy it. Because at 1 o'clock, who knows what could happen to any of us? We never know. So anything that we go through, enjoy it. It's temporary. That's the gift of life. We can't control the cards that we were dealt or that we were handed. Save what you can. And you're not saving to buy anything. You're not buying game systems. You're not buying designer. You're not buying cars, luxury items. You're not taking girls out on dates. You're not paying for subscriptions. You're not paying for streaming platforms. No, you're doing it for leverage. Leverage to help you understand financial literacy and to help you manage your money better as well. So use whatever you can to invest in different tools that support your authenticity. Food, a safe haven as far as your house, your phone, a journal, a clean place to rest. Make sure you have shoes that can help you walk a long distance or help you stand for a long period of time. And get you something to create with. So if you have another phone or a camera, use that. And then the thing is too, when you're doing what you enjoy doing, even though it may seem cheap to others, but it's expensive to you, that's how you know that you're doing the right thing for yourself, nobody else. So don't ever waste your time thinking as if you have it all together, because you don't. Use this leverage to become grounded in your highest observation, because that's how your essence can save you, when you save what you can and you don't spend it all just because you have it all. This next one you're basically doing right now because we're talking virtually, but talk with someone that you know you can trust, or someone who's really conscious or awake into giving you a different perception that you may not have considered before. So if you don't have anyone to talk to, anyone you can go to, then find yourself a quiet place where you can be artistic, you can be your spiritual self. And when you're doing that, I would say, for example, libraries, and I got many examples, but bookstores, nature, parks, libraries, and these are things that I go to. So for example, I don't know what you would call this, but it's where my gym is. So my gym is literally right next door to the fitness center or whatever. But it's just like the areas where you pay for things at the kiosks up there and all that. And you got this coffee maker over there. You got granola bars. You got computers with printers. You got some seats. You got TV right there. This is how I'm able to trust myself. Because I can't ask somebody, hey, what video should I make today? I can't do that. That's why I have over 1,000 videos, because I don't want to ask anybody for a video. I just choose to make what I want to make. And yeah, it takes a long time, but when I make the video that I make, or the videos that I make, it's a reason why I'm posting them at this time. So you can't rush the process of greatness. And the thing is too, going to a library, for example, I enjoy that because you can pick any book you want and you can be lost in a world that has no imagery, but it has articulation. So how do you increase your wordplay? It's in the books. The park. I love the park. Now, I don't like the fucking bugs or the people who just stare and shit, or the people who come and talk for no reason, unless they're calm, cool, and collected. But the people who are nosy, I don't like that shit. But I enjoy it because I can't control it. All I can do is just adapt to what I can't change. So why care about what I can't change? You feel me? I can feel some kind of way though, for sure. So yeah, and then I would say as well, ask your higher self for the simulation to send you someone that sees you, and then be open-minded. Always stay like that, stay open-minded. And I say too, ask your higher self to send you that person that sees you for who you are. Am I talking about myself or you? So when you ask your higher self to reach out to a version of you that knows more than you currently, that version of you that knows more than you now will teach you how to be better than yourself now. So the people that you can trust, or the person that you do trust, is basically you in a quantum universe that you think is third dimensional. But that's issues. That's why I need another phone. But just, yeah, be open-minded to what you're perceiving. And then my last point as well, keep on creating, especially when you're sitting in silence. So when you have those moments of silence to yourself and all you have is the crickets, all you have is cars driving by you, all you have is coyotes howling, you got owls hooting, you got planes flying over you, you have people maybe just talking in the background, whatever. That's when it's time for you to create better thoughts. All you can have is your thoughts at the end of the day. When you're laying down, when you wake up, throughout the day, all you can do is think. If you're going to think, start thinking about what action to take next. Don't just wait for the action to commit itself. It would never happen. If you think that you are called to speak up about your experience, I say write, speak out loud, record, draw, reflect. Stop waiting on whatever it is you're waiting on and just get to the work. Because you're not here to be in survival mode, nor just survive. Oh, my heart. You had to come here to transmute your energy. Excuse me. And I say transmute your energy because you got to see all these things that you're going through. I want to see it as a bad, but your situation, see it as you fertilizing your foundation. And this is basically fertilizing your foundation for a future message that will help awaken other people who are inspired by your story. Remember, you never need to seek instant gratification. And the thing is, you never need to silence what you're awakening into either. So never deny yourself. My bad, y'all, my heart. You see what I mean? Yeah, I need to calm down the pizza. Cause my heart. But yeah, we're good, y'all. We're good. So, but yeah, just don't rush it and never silence yourself. Journal, make videos, make recordings without your face being included. If you choose to, sing, dance, go for a walk, ground, look up at the universal gazing. I wouldn't say star gazing because I don't believe in stars, but look up at universal gazing and witness your experience to shining bright as you're looking up at the inversion that the world calls itself to be comfortable in. Okay. All right. And then the last part, stop thinking that you're behind and never think as if you're behind or ahead. Be in a moment. All you're doing on this path is just walking in alignment. And the thing is too, all the hungry moments, all the questioning, you being isolated. This is basically an ancient knowing of intelligence that you already witnessed and learned from before. And you taught this same exact version of intelligence even back then. So even if you compare it to sage or monks or a mystic, all these beings have been in the exact same situation as you. And you were never supposed to be lost on this journey that you may have lost your way. Because all you're doing is being outside of the illusion that you were born into. So because you're outside of the illusion, you found power in a place that could never reach itself. So what's the place to be when the place to be has the most power outside of what you call reality? And then just my other 5 key points, if you do find these things useful, just being able to provide some information to you. So never think as if you're lost, you're always being protected, because life or the simulation will never abandon you, but it's removing you from environments that would have basically harmed or sacrificed your spirit before you even knew who you were going to become. And then the things that hurt you weren't the end. It was basically the beginning of your awakening, because a lot of these things that you're going through, it cracks you open like an egg so that your authenticity of what the truth can ever be is finally getting into your consciousness, your subconscious thoughts. So now you're making space for the real you to live out the story that you are proud to read. You were guided and being guided by yourself the entire time. Even when you had nothing to give, we had nothing to spend, we had nothing to gain, you were always the one guiding what never mattered. Because you still being here, you still having your heart, you still having your fully functioning body, it shows that the greatest thing that's attached to you has always been with you and it's never left your side. That's how you know you always got your back, and you're always protected by having your own back, because you're aware of your surroundings. When you're feeling unsure, it doesn't mean that you're being off course. All it really means is that you're waking up from the course that you were lost on. Because when you're questioning your purpose, the path that you walk in a system that showed you what your path wasn't, now you're seeing the signs of you becoming more conscious of who you were yesterday. And the thing is, majority of society will never reach where you and I are talking in right now. All we're doing is talking to ourselves in two-dimensional screens that never happened. So what's really happening when people comprehend what we're saying to ourselves? And then lastly, you don't need to become something that's considered to be great. All you're doing is just being something that was considered to be real, or the realest person walking in this room, because you're just being aware, you being present, you being honest with yourself in a simulation that has illusions that need the power that you have without gaining anything or without you leeching off of anything. That's how you know you're changing the world, because you're being the realest version of yourself in it. This is the computer programming of artificial minds. And yet your artificial mind became intelligent in a consciousness that it never belonged into. And once you found yourself in the program, you stopped just flowing in it on autopilot and you said, let me change the course of what I was navigating myself into falling into. So that answers that question right there. I see how a lot of systems and the people that make them up are just Luciferian and Satanists and worship the ego, sacrificing others because of some false enlightenment. But I'm like, if it feels like I can just sit here and watch your videos with some reflection and inquiry, I'll be fulfilled. Okay. You don't feel like you need to work to survive or be happy, but you don't know that it's a lie I'm comfortable in or a truth I'm willing or not willing to accept. The thing is, none of us want to work to survive to be happy. And the thing is, if you think working and survival will make you happy, that's false happiness. And you'll never find happiness working for somebody else. You find happiness by being your own boss. So it takes a lot of work and it starts right now. And there are many people who are in your situation who made something of themselves in life. But how will you do that for yourself without copying other people's recipe? Is it my job to develop funds, resources, power, and knowledge relentlessly and join the resistance on some Star Wars shit? No, I'm not even going to say yes, but no, it's not your job to develop anything. For one, you don't have a job in this world to develop anything. Your job is to mainly evolve in your own other words for perception. I want more words. I guess we can use insight. You have to develop your own insight, develop your own discernment. And when you're doing that, you know that joining the resistance will only get you knocked out of simulation. It'll get you knocked off the simulation. Or are you just having a hard time, excuse me, accepting the fact that you weren't born to be a god of this world? I think your ego's having a hard time with it, but your spirit knows that there is no God of this world and there is no world. So when people say Satan is the God of this world, people are literally saying your brain is the God of this world because it made everything up. That's why my brain thinks as if I have a MacBook in front of me, I got a phone on a tripod, got water next to me, I got lion's mane in front of me. My brain thinks that because that's what I taught myself to digest. So once you stop accepting things of this world, you lose yourself. But what do you lose when your identity is not a part of you? It's just what you wear. You weren't born to be a god of this world or a celebrity or rich and famous, and that my only job is to align with the present. Yeah, you answered your own question. Your job is to really be present every single day till it's time to go. And by you being present, you already are going to be famous for that. You already are going to be rich. You already are going to be celebrated. Because when you're being present every single day, that's what makes you known. When you do something every single day, to where many people give up, they fall off, they quit. You keep going. That's why people want to know, what do you do to where you keep on going with something that you don't find boring? That's what makes you famous. That's what people celebrate. People celebrate the consistent works that you don't make excuses in, because we all got problems. We all got things that we're going through. I mean, most of us just don't have time to talk about it because we got things to work on. Okay. A part of me wants to join you on some will fire shit, but I don't want that to just be another ego trip or fantasy. I want to be something real, something meaningful outside of trauma I endured, but I don't know how or what that looks like, at least within me or through me. You want to be something real, something meaningful. If you want to be something real and something meaningful outside of trauma that you endured, then you need to stop thinking that how real or how meaningful your life is has a look. Everything within you or through you is transparent. So you have to be real with yourself every single day to find meaning in life outside of trauma. Meaning that trauma does not shape you. You're just being a slave to what your trauma made up in your life. Trauma does not know it's traumatized till we put negative memories to that trauma that was never traumatized or traumatic. Once we understand that, your only job is to stay present with where you are in life. Now, of course, don't be content with the mediocrity or the average way of life, but do things that move you into your purpose. Meaning that your trauma should not shape your life in the future. Your trauma should not define you. Yeah, it caused you to be or think a certain way, but don't use that as a scapegoat to bring yourself down or to make yourself be a victim, to have this sob story that gets you known. That's what the inverts do. We don't got time for that shit. Biologically, we're all traumatized, but yet we don't get up and just say, oh man, I was hurt when I was in elementary school or middle school or high school, so I'm gonna keep on talking about that and I want people to feel bad. Nobody gives a shit. Somebody went through something way worse than you today, and yet nobody asks how they're doing. So why would they care about how you're doing? That's why you don't look for something real and you don't want to be anything real or anything meaningful. All you gotta do is be real, be meaningful. To be meaningful in life, everything you do, everything you say, every thought you have, every action you take, every movement you make is meaningful because you're being real with yourself. That's how you can be a real nigga. When I die, there'll be one person in this world who will say, that was the realest nigga I never could comprehend. Thank you. I know it may become a personal question, and if it's my job to find an answer myself, that's okay too. If you can't really answer or make a video on it, or it doesn't make sense, that's okay too. But it feels like, to me, you by far the best person to ask, not gonna lie. Honestly, probably the only one. So, I mean, overall, that'll just conclude this video because, I am very exhausted. This video was probably too long, but I know that whoever's watching this, thank you. And I am very exhausted. So, overall, I definitely wanted to put my best into this, and thank you who stayed for this long of the videos. I know you have way more important things to do with your life, but thank you for giving me a chance to take some time out of your day to just pour in some value to you. I don't ever want to waste your time with stupid bullshit, because if that was the case, I could just have 50 women lined up shaking ass and shit, to where now you and your friends are getting hard over pixels. It's like, nobody wants to do that stupid shit. It's not meant for us. I want to be able to help you understand that your spiritual journey is what will get you to the next life. This life does not matter. What matters is, do you know where you're going in the next life? Realistically, that's the whole entire purpose to me. The whole purpose in life to me is, do you know where you're going when it's all said and done? And if you don't know, you better figure it out. And there's no way to figure it out. Just exist. Be conscious every single day. And yes, it's hard. It's supposed to be. It's exhausting consciously being aware of everything every day when you open your eyes. But when you make a commitment to become awakened in this simulation, there is no going back to sleep. You can't. How can you go to bed when your dreams are in front of your face telling you, hey, who you are and what you want is right here, and you know how to reach it? Imagine knowing that you have the blueprint into winning the game in life, and you still say, I don't want to use that. What? You have the keys to having an enhanced life, and you don't want to enhance your life because of your ego? Free your mind from what you think you know. Life as you know it does not know what it's being in the life that it thinks it knew. Because what do you know in life if you never knew anything about what life never offered you? But wait a minute. Why do we offer ourselves to life when life cannot be the offering that we can sacrifice? So who's really the sacrifice? Have a great and abundant divine flexion.